So first of all, welcome everybody to the Women in IT sessions at GSE UK's virtual conference where technology and talent meet. This is our first session and I'm really excited about it because it's thinking about concealing your gender identity as a woman on a resume. So our speakers are Swati and Eleni, but before I go any further, just some quick housekeeping, which may actually be speaking to the converted at this stage, but please remain on mute and off camera unless you're speaking. The session is being recorded and it will be made available to you in due course. Please put any questions and also send us a little where you're from in the chat, because the ladies would like this to be as interactive a session as possible. So this is session 4D and we do really appreciate your feedback. So at the end of the session, if you go to BYOD, you can leave your feedback. There's a little link in the session box. So this session, the aim is to prompt the reflection on the difficulties of expressing oneself in the workplace and to engage in discussions about creating workplaces that are more equitable and inclusive. Let's talk about the potential outcomes and the ethical aspects of concealing gender identity, drawing attention to wider concerns of fairness for women at work. We're going to delve into the reasons someone may think about this, examining workplace biases and societal expectations, also discussing how to overcome this constant fear of living with uncertainty. Our speakers today are Swati, who is a product owner for Broadcom. She's responsible for translating product manager strategies to development tasks and learning the customers and markets requirements. She has over 16 years of experience in IT as a developer, QA, and business analyst in mainframe, as well as a modern mainframer in DevOps. She changed her stream from development to product management recently, since she believes understanding and listening to others' problems is her strong forte. Swati lives in Prague with her husband and her daughter and has a passion for acquiring new knowledge and giving back to the community. Eleni is a seasoned Scrum Master and Agile coach. She brings a wealth of experience and passion for empowering women in IT. Her strong professional background includes 5 years as a Scrum Master and then transitioning to Agile coach. She specializes in professional coaching, particularly empowering women in the workplace. After a triumphant 15-year battle against an eating disorder, she redirected her life towards psychology and life coaching. Her story underscores the transformative power of resilience and determination, and her mission is now to inspire and guide others on their paths of recovery and self-discovery. So without further ado, over to you.
Thank you, Eileen. Thank you. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our session today. We are going to present an interesting topic in Women in IT stream. I am Swati Javaji and
I am Eleni Plakopiti.
We are here to bring awareness of existing hiring biases and to discuss what we as women and supporters of women need to do to excel in our career.
But before we delve into our today's topic, let us break a little bit the ice in the beginning now and watch a small video about the challenges faced by women. So we'll play.
It's literally impossible to be a woman, to be a woman, to be a woman. You are so beautiful and so smart. And it kills me that you don't think you're good enough. Like, we have to always be extraordinary, but somehow we're always doing it wrong.
You have to be thin, but not too thin.
And you can't ever say that you want to be thin. You have to say you want to be healthy, but also you have to be thin. You have to be thin.
You have to be thin.
You have to have money, but you can't ask for money because that's crass.
You have to be a boss, but you can't be me.
You have to lead, but you can't squash other people's ideas.
You're supposed to love being a mother, but don't talk about your kids all the damn time.
You have to be a career woman, but also always be looking out for other people. You have to answer for men's bad behavior, which is insane. But if you point that out, you're accused of complaining. You're supposed to stay pretty for men, but not so pretty that you tempt them too much.
Or that you threaten other women because you're supposed to be part of the sisterhood.
But always stand out and always be grateful. But never forget that the system is rigged. So find a way to acknowledge that, but also always be grateful.
You have to never get old.
Never be rude, never show off, never be selfish, Never fall down, never fail, never show fear, never get out of line. It's too hard. It's too hard. It's too hard. It's too contradictory. And nobody ever gives you a medal or says thank you. And it turns out, in fact, that not only are you doing everything wrong, but also everything is your fault. I'm just so tired of watching myself and every single other woman tie herself into knots just so people will like us. And if all of that is also true for a doll just representing a woman, then I don't even know.
All right, let's take a moment here, and we would like you to be interactive, and please feel free to share in the chat if and how does that video resonate to you. And we will read your answers at the end, but please feel free to write them. We would like to see if you resonate with that video that you just saw.
Okay. The topic is thinking about concealing your gender identity on a resume. Where did it all start? How did this topic came to our mind? A person in our internal lean-in circle, they shared a couple of videos with us and asked us to watch those videos. And recently, I'm a part of the lean-in circle that we have at Broadcom. And I came to know about some topics such as stolen idea, tightrope, gender bias, and we were mind blown. We realized that we have gone through the exact pain points in different stages during our career, that we were not educated on this topic and we were living in a bubble. We started having internal discussions with other women. To our shock, we found that there are two categories of women. One group who are happy and who don't mind living in denial. The others who are in distress, looking for answers and seeking help. And now we had two options. Talk about it or ignore it. We chose the first one. We started talking about it. We thought that we should bring awareness among other ladies. And we wanted to talk to higher management about it. And guess what? There are not many women leaders. And then these questions start running in our mind. What is happening? What is the issue? Are women not getting hired for top management positions? Has it something to do with the broken rung? Or are women paying the motherhood penalty? Or it could be that the jobs are portrayed as if the top management positions are portrayed as if only men would fit these positions. Or it might be that the job descriptions are drafted by men imagining themselves in these positions. Whatever it could be, women should not hesitate to apply for any positions. They should trust in themselves and they should practice self-confidence. And one more trait women have is they want to be perfect in everything. It doesn't need to be perfect. If the job description 100% doesn't match your profile, go for it, apply for it, take the risk, get all the support from your family and friends. And always there is an inner voice in you wanting to pull back. Oh, you're not enough for this position. There is a constant negative pullback. Ignore it. Just go for it. And also there is a myth to it that women are less likely to take risk in their careers. And we have to prove that it is not true. And after our topic got selected for the GSE UK, these happened as we were having different discussions with different ladies with different expertise in IT, outside IT, in our circles. We happened to talk to different people, and there are some interviews we took to get a feeling of what they feel. Do they feel the gender bias around them, etc. One such interview, I think it is worth mentioning it here. It is an interview about with an intern. She applied for an intern position in an international company along with a female classmate and a male classmate. They three were in a group. They did a project together. And when they applied for a position, the ladies were not asked the technical questions. However, at the same time, the position was given to the male student after a couple of questions about the project. The whole experience has charred her feelings. It broke her trust even before entering the IT industry. Now, I put myself in her shoes and I think, she's just 19 years old. How does she feel? Now, who should we blame? Is it the industry, or I'm not sure where the problem is, but I know that the system has to be changed. You cannot say you have achieved equality until everyone is equal and has equal opportunities. Do you agree with that point? Right? So I feel so bad for her that she had to go through this at this start of the career. But I hope she comes out of this bubble and she finds a good place. And we all are responsible as a community to provide a better environment for the upcoming talent. Eleni, do you have some studies and researches related to this topic, right? Would you mind sharing?
Sure. Let's move on and let's go a little bit back and let's see how does it all start. Okay, in our society, we know that biases towards gender stereotypes, they play a significant role. And there was a study from the Institution for Engineering and Technology, and it's reflected in the division of toys, for instance, where certain colors like blue is associated with boys, while the pink one is associated with girls. Now you'll be asking, how do toys connect to choosing a career? So the report from this institution showed the career impact, the potential career impact on girls, and found that the girls' toys often focus on nurturing or domestic roles, right? We have the dolls, we have the kitchen, we have the culinary, while the engineering and tech toys are marketed to boys. So the effects of having gender toys could be limitation of girls' exposure to, as I mentioned here, science, technology, engineering, and math fields, reinforcing stereotypes about suitable careers, and also narrowing career aspirations even from a younger age. Now, what are the consequences? Gender disparity in these specific STEM fields that I mentioned, missed opportunities for innovation, and some economic implications we will see later on in the studies and how impacts the gender biases and the wages. So some recommendations to this topic would be to encourage the gender neutral toy selection and marketing and promote the diverse roles in these fields. I just going to give you one big message here. It's not just the toys that is the issue, right? But the whole idea that some things are for boys and some things are for girls. So if we create a future with changing the perceptions from childhood, that would be completely different from now on. Another interesting thing that we figured out while we were researching for this topic was about AI and recruiting tools and how AI can be helpful, right? AI and its algorithms were built without any, we think that the tools are built without any bias or prejudice, and they don't have any human decision-making choice. Unfortunately, the algorithm can unintentionally learn bias from a variety of different sources. And specifically here, Amazon's case, the tool was set up in that way that it was biased against women, and it downgraded resumes that included words like women's or the words that came from women's colleges. So Amazon AI tool was shut down due to concerns about gender bias in the hiring process. But let's dig a little bit more on the hiring biases. Swati, would you like to explain a little bit more which kind of biases do they exist?
Oh, sure, Eleni. So there are so many kinds of gender bias, but we took, I was able to gather some. I think most of us, we already heard about it. Some of them are the first impression error. The moment we see a candidate, we already form a first impression about them, that we determine that, yes, this candidate is safe and they will be able to perform. Actually, the change in the hiring process should I feel that it should start at the organization level. We need to take we need to start taking smarter decisions so that it will not be mishire, or we find the right candidate. One more kind of bias, beauty bias. Generally, people tend to feel that the beauty person, if he is beautiful or she is beautiful, they are happiest and they are more successful, and they tend to hire this person. And the one more kind of session, the bias is halo or horns effect. Halo. So the moment we see a college or a university in their resume, we think that, oh, this candidate is awesome. We will take them. At the same time, Horton's effect is exactly opposite of the halo effect. We find a negative thing in their resume and we form our own opinion about this person. We make our own decision why not to hire him. That is Horton's effect. And cluster illusion. So it is like a group thing. We have a specific opinion even before we hire this candidate. We discuss in a group and we say, yes, the other group's decision will impact the decision of us to hire this candidate or not. Are you interested to learn about any other biases? Have you not heard about any of these earlier? Ambiguity effect, anchoring bias. Is there any particular thing that you want to know more? Please write in the chat. Yeah. Okay.
People are very quiet in the chat. Would you like me, given it it's a small group, to unmute, allow people to unmute and talk?
Sure, I'll leave.
Okay, people can now unmute themselves if they would like to ask questions. I hope.
Okay, so if no one has any questions, now I will talk about the famously infamous gender bias. It is an unconscious bias. It results in individuals favoring one gender over another when hiring for a particular role, even if the candidates have a similar skills and job experience. It plays out in different ways. We have to talk about it in open workplace, and we have to do internal audit process and make sure that they are fair and equitable. And one more thing we observed during this research was some companies started hiring women. I'm not sure if they have to maintain the status quo, say that, hey, we have 50% men and 50% women. Is that the reason? Or they are just hiring women so that they see the talent in them? That is a question to everybody, right?
Chat. All right. Let us move a little bit on the studies now. I have a few studies here. The first one is from the PNAs, the Proceedings of Natural Academy of Science. And it shows, it examined how gender biases influence the faculty members' perception and treatment of studies in the science fields. So the faculty participants, rated the male applicant as specifically more competent and hireable than the female applicants. These applicants also selected a higher salary and offered more career mentoring to the male applicant. As we can see here in the graph, we have three different ones: the competence, hireability, and mentoring. So the male students received more higher salaries, as I mentioned, more ability for mentorship, more support actually. And in the survey, the faculty participants, it's something that it's very important here to mention, were assessed for having pre-existing subtle bias against women using a standard instrument, and found that pre-existing fine bias was associated with less support for the female student, but was unrelated to reactions to the male student. So these results suggest that interventions addressing faculty gender bias might advance the goal of increasing the participation of women in science.
To add to what Eleni is saying, I think we have to start eliminating bias when we are hiring. It is the ultimate duty of organizations to remove unconscious bias from hiring processes. But how do they do it? They have to remove gendered wording. They have to introduce something called as blind skills challenge, maybe, and also make data-driven decisions. And they have to advertise their roles through different organizations, and the interview process to be more structured. And most importantly, if it is a interview panel combined with both men and women, everybody have the equal right to choose the right candidate. Go ahead, Eleni. Thank you.
Thank you, Swati. Let's see also some gender biased wages surveys here. On the left side, we can see a survey from the US Department of Labor. There is a persistent gap in general in earnings between men and women. And I can tell you like something that is not mentioned here. You can see from total on the left side to the advanced degree on the right side. On average, the women working full-time are paid 83.7% of what men are paid. And this inequity is even greater for Black or Hispanic women. One main contributor here is that women are more likely than men to work in low-paying jobs that offer less benefits. And if we can see here the level of education and the wages, so the women must complete one additional degree in order to be paid the same wages as a man with less education. One last fact that is not covered here is that the wage gap of older women workers is larger than the one for younger women. The pie chart on the left, on the right side, we can see the results of a survey from the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development countries, OECD countries. So in this survey, we see the distribution of pay reporting measures in these different countries. And I can give you some statistics about this survey. 9 of these countries have implemented comprehensive equal pay auditing processes. Some of the policies were also introduced a decade earlier, and some of the movements have already come in Europe. 9 countries require gender pay audits and reporting, including Canada, France, and Sweden. Some countries, such as Germany and United States, require reporting on workforce characteristics, but not the gender pay gap data. And also you can see at the end the white gap there. These are the countries that still lack equally pay reporting or auditing systems. So I will put a question and feel free to unmute yourself. Have you come across any gender wage disparity so far in your career? Or if you're still shy, you can write in the chat. That would be nice to hear some interactions. Feel free to share. Or if you haven't, have you heard about it?
Answers could be yes.
I have.
Sorry, go ahead.
Hi. I have maybe 1 or 2 comments to make with regards to the degrees and pay and paying salaries with regards to female and women. I also find that it is true, according to the studies, that males do get higher preferences, even though they don't say much in the interviews. Well, the job hires just get to assume that this is what the person is worth, without them saying anything. And I wonder, what is it that as women we need to be, why is it that we have to be always justifying ourselves in order to get ourselves to this, to that same level or else they don't even have to say anything. And the other thing that I have also noticed is that when you start saying your worth, you are being seen as someone who is too ambitious, you know, and if oftentimes you are being put down by the same gender. Well, it could be that it's in the job interview, you know, the same gender would be putting you down, like would be asking you rhetoric questions, you know. So I wonder what makes us to be like that.
That's a very, very good question. And such kind of questions need to be brought to discuss. And we have to create awareness, not just in men, but also women, that only with the support we grow as a community together. Right. So when the moment we came to know about these kind of discussions or these kind of topics, we didn't keep quiet. We started talking about it. We started bringing more women fraternity into our groups, and we started discussing. And we are trying, I think, our level best to see some change. I think that everybody should do the same.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
Thank you for your questions, Mercy. I loved your questions, and I think that more women here, or everyone, I don't want to say only women, because we have like both gentlemen and women, are resonated with these questions, and we come across every day with that. And I think that Swati already mentioned how we started also getting to know what are all these, and then the more you talk about them, the more you understand that you are not alone first, and then that you should keep, if I can say, like trying and putting out your worth. So you should not be discouraged by what is happening around you. You should know, if you know your worth, you will see it. Also, Swati will move on now and explain a little bit about brand and how you build your brand. And I think it starts all of that, knowing your own worth, and then keep showing up for yourself. We can see, I don't know if you would like to take more questions or to move on first.
We can take questions if anybody has something to add or to ask.
Una mentioned in the chat that she's seen differences. It can also be that the men asked for more after the job interview than the women did. Or one of the other things that I've seen is, if you're on a particular pay scale, women come in at a certain place, but they tend to stay where we are. There's many women who've stayed in the same company, so therefore I've just been on the company pay scale, whereas a lot of the men have come in at different stages of their career, so have asked for more. And so down the line, even though you might have started off at the same, men are now earning more or the same as women who have been there longer. So that's the other thing I see a lot of.
That's true. It's true, Eileen. And I'm seeing some male also joined our call. I must say that I should appreciate them joining our call. They joined us to solve a cause. Only when men and women are in the equation, we can bring a change. We cannot make a clap with just one hand. They both need to come together. They need to come and acknowledge the fact that women are facing problem, and from there, and what support can they give? Because we have to maintain a healthy equilibrium, healthy balance, right? Let me continue. The next slide. Okay. So the session today is about hiding your identity, right? Thinking about hiding your identity on a resume. I would say no. You have to develop your personal brand. It can be true for a man or a woman. In today's competitive job market, a strong personal brand is more valuable. Employers searching for top talent no longer look for a piece of paper, for a resume or cover letter or credentials. They examine your entire personal brand, looking at the characteristics and attributes that sets you apart from a competitive candidate. When demand is increasing every year, the market is still competitive, particularly as businesses they navigate through difficult times. And they also have a budget in mind. Okay, I have this much of budget. Should I go for a female candidate who has specific traits and a male candidate who has specific traits? Maybe we fit for that role, right? When you are starting your career or when you are re-entering the job market, developing a strong personal brand can boost your chances of success. And according to LinkedIn, 71% of the professionals believe that a strong personal brand will open a door to career opportunities. I will tell you how to build a brand. For example, what are the benefits of branding? It improves differentiation. Let's say two people are applying for a job, and if you have a better skill set, or if you have your own brand, there are chances that you will be hired when compared to the other person. Right. You have to be more visible to the employers. And it is said that more HR professionals and the recruiters will be looking for the online reputation, which will influence their hiring decision. And you have to be better visible online, which means social media. I'm not talking about Facebook or TikTok or Snapchat. LinkedIn. Let's say in LinkedIn, you can be more visible to your potential employers, and you have to strive hard to show your skills. For example, let's say you have done some certifications or some exams, or you have participated in some conferences. Make sure that they're visible on your LinkedIn. And next thing is greater trust and credibility. If you have a clear track of expertise and shared values, they will trust you, and you are a credible candidate when compared to the others. And the new career opportunities is when you have your own brand, you expand your network, and the relationships you form through this network, they will guide you towards new positions. Another important thing is the adaptability. As industries evolve and job opportunities change, you have to be adaptable. You have to continuously focus on your growth, and you have to be willing to learn. There are different technologies coming in markets these days. Software keeps changing. You have to learn daily. This can ensure that you can apply for new roles in this difficult job market. Do you have any ideas how we can create a personal brand? Maybe you can write it in the chat. Have you heard about this personal branding earlier? Yes, I see someone shaking their head. Elaine, would you want to add something?
I've heard of it. I have no idea how to do it.
Okay. Okay, then let me go to the next page.
You're doing it right now.
Yes. So I will tell you key points how to start developing your personal brand. First and foremost, you have to conduct a self-assessment. First, you need to clearly understand what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. If you have any weaknesses, how to work towards betterment, and what are your abilities as a professional in the space that you apply a job for. You have to take a closer look at your skills and what you have accomplished in the past years. You think about the key attributes that sets you apart from the competitive candidates in the industry, and you have to be adaptable, and you have to have the willingness to learn. You have to define your audience. When you know your audience, you will clearly understand your strengths and weaknesses. Then you will say, okay, this is my audience. I have to try hard to impress them. If you're looking for new promotions with your current role, it is important to know which values and skills your employer seeks. If you are looking for a new position, you have to consider what matters the most to the new employers. For example, in a survey conducted in 2024, 68% of the employers prioritize digital skills. 82% they will focus on analytical skills, data analytics, AI, whatnot. And 57% will pay attention to employee resilience. Interesting, right? You beat the employee, he comes back. Resilient. And especially women are resilient. And looking at the job descriptions posted by the companies, you want to work for a recruitment company that can identify the key attributes that will elevate your personal brand. And as I said earlier, optimize your online presence. Whatever you are posting, the world is watching. Just be careful what you post. Maybe when I was in youth, I might have posted some controversial things on Facebook, TikTok. World will watch. It will come back. It will bite you. So whatever you're posting, just optimize it, post consciously. And if you have a LinkedIn profile, you make it complete and up to date, and you see that it will accurately highlight your experience, skills, and the credentials. If you have any software, if you have any other social media profiles, what do they speak about you? If you go through my Facebook profile, it defines me. It tells what kind of a person I am, where do I travel, what are my tastes. Do the employers go and check my Facebook profile? We never know. We never know. I mean, we have to be careful what we post. We have to make sure that we just tell what are our skills and achievements. One more important thing is you have to invest in networking. Yeah, like we are doing right now. GSC UK, wow, what not? It is the best place to network. And developing the network is one of the best ways to enhance your personal brand and ensure that its visibility, it is visible to the right people. You have to invest both online and offline networking wherever and whenever possible. In February, we have attended a session on women in Ireland. They had some sessions, we attended that. And in March, there was a conference about women empowerment and leadership skills. Confidence and courage. So we went there and we have networked with around 100 ladies there. So we developed our network, and for sure, I think we have created our brand there. There are even mentors and peers in that group. So from next month, we are starting the mentorship program. They are going to talk about the issues that we have in the women community. And together we are going to, I think, make some change and at least make some noise. Say that, yeah, we are here and we are trying to make some change. We are going to demonstrate expertise consistently. To further draw attention to your personal brand, commit some time to create and distribute through leadership content. You write blogs, you write articles, you make sure that you make noise. You can publish videos on YouTube or even create your own podcast. Whatever you invest in, ensure that you consistently send the same message across all the platforms, right? You cannot be talking about women empowerment in one group and talk about other thing in your other platform. But at the end, they all should be the same. And the most important, the last point is you have to be ready to evolve and adapt. It is so hard to build a personal brand. With consistency, with hard work, with leadership, you can do it. It is important to understand that your brand and the need for from the employers will change over time. Software keeps evolving. You have to go and evolve along with the change, learn the new technologies, and you have to be fast-paced in this dynamic environment, right? Any questions? What do you think about these points? So are we all ready to build our own brand, personal brand? Yes, merci. Good, thank you. Merci. We don't have anything else. There are some key takeaways from this session. We learned about creating a brand, resilience, empowerment, emotional support, continuous learning, awareness, and confidence, most importantly. These are some of the materials that we have. We would like to share with you about the idea where it all started, Lean In program. And do you want to add something, Eleni?
Yeah, sure. Just these videos, like you can find a lot of videos inside these links. These are basically from the Lean In organization. This is how we started and came across. And you can even try to join a Lean In circle if you're interested. You don't have to do it through your company. I think that each country organizes, we were talking about networking. So this could be one source. I think there are many women out there, and you can join, try, educate yourself. So first the education, and then you can try, and don't hesitate, try. It might be in the beginning a bit uncomfortable, but you will be surprised by how many women are there and they experience the same things like you. Or if you never experienced it, you will hear other women sharing. So feel free to go through these videos. We can share them through Eileen, and you can have them afterwards. For sure, now is the moment of your questions. So I don't know if there are some in the chat. Where can I find these links? Yeah, so we can share them
I already
afterwards.
uploaded the PDF version of it. So you can download
Slides
it
are
from.
uploaded.
Oh, okay.
So you can download the slides. When you go to give your feedback, right beside the feedback link, just above it, is the link for the slides if you want to download them.
And as we mentioned already, we have just started our journey, and please feel free to give the feedback. Is there something that you like about the session today, or if you want to know more about some topic, let us know, and we can connect and we can network even after this session. I'm Swati Javaji, and this is Eleni Plagopiti. We thank you so much for your time, and we don't have anything else to add unless and until you have some questions. As Elaine mentioned, we are ready for a coffee.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you so much
Pleasure.
for joining.
Yeah, that has been a fantastic session. It's been you've had so much information, and it's been really good and really interesting. I particularly like your building a brand, because it's something that I keep hearing people talking about, building brands, but it's not something I've spent much time thinking about or doing. Yeah, people are very quiet in the chat today. Interesting. I was hoping we'd get more interaction from people, which is why I let everybody unmute. So if there's anyone who wants to say anything,
come to the panel session, because I have a lot to say.
I'm delighted you do.
Can you hear me, Aileen? I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Who's that? Una, is it?
Una, yeah, my
I
Zoom
can hear
really.
you.
I ended up in the wrong room or whatever, but I don't know how I did it because I just clicked on the link. So just maybe other people got lost as well. Just if you do get lost and you think this is not what you thought it was, maybe just relook at the session name. Unlike me, that just sat there wondering why I was confused in the session. That didn't mean anything to me. Yeah, very interesting though. What I've seen, and I'm looking forward to actually looking at the recording of it as well, to see the bits that I missed. And that, do you get embarrassed? I just want to ask with your LinkedIn. So I know I've done the build the brand, I've done the training, I did a mentoring course, I've done all that, but I just feel LinkedIn and those things that I don't want to oversell myself, and for other people to look at it and go, yeah, I'm right, she's full of herself. Do you know what I mean? Even though I look at other people's profiles and I go, do they really do that? Or do they really? So I'm kind of, yeah, so I have a very basic profile, and I look really boring in it, which probably maybe I am, but like, it doesn't really sell me or anything. So I just wonder sometimes whether people do, is that something people feel when they're doing it? And I see some of my, colleagues, friends, people out there, and they have great profiles. So I don't know, maybe I just need to ask them how they manage to do it, you know? But
there is
yeah.
a secret to it. They talk to people who develop resumes. There are some people who help with building up your LinkedIn profile.
Okay.
So even you have some basic statements, they transform these statements in such a way that they sound amazing.
Okay, that's interesting now. I would have thought of that. Just thought they were all really, good at selling themselves, and that. But yeah, if you looked at my profile, I'd say she's a very boring job. But it isn't. My job isn't boring at all. So it's kind of, and I've done a lot. It is. Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know what you have on yours, Aileen, because I actually looked at it. But
I think
yeah.
I removed all my description from my LinkedIn couple of years back, because as I started working and as I continued in different technologies, then they started up adding my learning graph was so huge that if a person goes through my LinkedIn profile, they wouldn't believe. It sounded so fake. So
Okay.
I had to remove it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. I wonder, would everyone remove it? Some people probably wouldn't.
To be fair, mine is a bit of a split personality because I am a bit of a split personality. On the one hand, it's like mainframe by day and dead people by night. Sorry, genealogy by night.
Yeah.
But you can make it sound so interesting or so boring. Like you can, I'm a very boring person. I work in IT and I do genealogy and family history and I read. Or I work on the mainframe. It's the best job in the world. And at the rest of the time, I'm doing genealogy. I'm hunting dead people. I'm chasing down ancestors. How great is that? I'm the same person.
Yeah, it's true.
I need to
That's how
see
you
what you
phrase
mean
it.
about how you can make things sound differently.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure, can I make my job sound exciting? But anyway, we'll try. I'm a database administrator, by the way. I work in mainframe databases. So, and I still remember in college hearing the title of it and wondering, like, hearing about database administration, think they were like librarians. No offense to librarians, but I thought, oh my God.
when I grow up, if I get a different other career that isn't one of the things I like now, I'd like to be a librarian.
Well,
Sorry,
you
no.
could like to be a database person too, so Aileen, we'll move you over.
We know how scared Aileen is of databases.
No.
Jerry Harper put me off them for life.
Yeah.
Maybe
Anyway,
someday, Una. Maybe.
maybe someday. Thank you very much. Anyway, it's very interesting.
Well done. Thank you so much. It was that has been a really good session. Does anyone else have anything to say now? Because if not, I'm going to suggest we go for coffee and then we resume at 3:00 in the other room. So it'll be room 5E, and that's going to be our panel discussion. So
And if I don't arrive in there, please will someone come and find me? And I'm in some other room.
I'll find you.
Thank
I'll
you.
find you. So with that, I'll close up this session. So thank you very much to Swathi and Eleni. The next session is our panel discussion, which is following on from this talk. So I know we're going to have loads to say. I'm counting on you, Donna. It's going to be really good. This session was 4D. So please, please, please remember to put in your feedback. It's really, really important. And with that,
What will be the next session? What's the name of the session topic?
The next session is just, the title is panel discussion. It's the same color on the agenda.
Okay.
And in order to get the link, you need to put it into your BYOA, your bring your own.
Yeah. Thanks.
And as we said earlier, the slides are available to download already. The videos will be made available in due course as this session was recorded. So yeah, I suppose we can close this session and have a coffee.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone. See you later.
Yep.
See you in a little while.